Hey everyone, it's Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pacific in San Francisco, California. So you know what time it is. It's time for the lobby. GameSpot's weekly video game hangout. I'm Mike Mahardy, here as always with reviews editor Peter Brown.
Hello.
Producer Robert Handlery.
Hi.
And editor Callie Plagge.
Hello.
We have a full show ahead of us. As always, I'm in the Twitch and YouTube chats, so if you have any questions, throw them in there. I used the word microtransactions in a tweet asking for questions, so naturally I got like 12 of them through Twitter before the show. We'll get into those later on. We're going to talk about Shadow of War, microtransactions, Forza 7, and Battlefront 2 beta. Rob, you spent a lot of time with Battlefront 2 beta. We're going to talk more about that in general, maybe what hopefully can change by November. You've got some thoughts on that. Callie, you just reviewed a Hat in Time, that the 3D platformer. We talked about it last week, but any final thoughts before I get into some news? Recommend it.
It's very cute. I would recommend it if you're into 3D platformers. It's a lot of people were joking that it's like what we wanted Yooka-Laylee to be, and I don't know if I would take it that far, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Cool. Yeah, your full review is up on GameSpot, so people can go check that out if 3D platformers are your jam. Otherwise, we're going to be talking some Star Wars, the movie trailer for The Last Jedi in general. I might touch on Blade Runner, but I don't want to spoil any of that because we won't talk too much about that.
Do you want to spoil it for me live, like whispering into my ear?
Yeah.
No, I mean like seriously when the segment
Sure.
happens.
GT Sport, Pete been playing that demo?
A big-ass demo.
A big demo.
Big-ass demo,
I'll censor him, don't worry. We're also going to be talking... Evil Within 2 we're going to save till next week, so Bethesda actually was gracious enough to send out review copies earlier than like a day before, which was their new policy for a while.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the deal is with Evil Within 2.
Well, I don't even know if it's just this game. Maybe they're rethinking things in general, but yeah, it's
Cool.
nice.
We'll get into that mainly next week, but I will touch on it because overall thoughts on that game are actually very positive, especially around our office, and I'm kind of seeing around Twitter and whatnot.
Ooh.
And yeah, we have a giveaway that's been running all week. You might already have heard about it. It's the not Shadow of War, the Evil Within 2, Xbox One and PS4 copies we're giving out. And then also on Friday, the grand prize, 2 people will win either an Xbox One S console with the Evil Within 2 skin or the PS4 Evil Within 2 skin. You can see both of those right here if you're watching this.
For a second, I thought he was pointing the gun at himself.
So at the end, I wouldn't be surprised. That would fit with this game.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
Shiva, who runs our Twitter, will be in the Twitch chat putting the link on for the GameSpot article. You can go there, and we're picking 5 winners every day for the games, and then again, Friday will be the grand prize for one of these 2, the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One S with said skin.
All right. Skin.
Yeah. Send those skins.
Skin.
We'll skins.
We'll send you skins if you are the grand prize winners. So look forward to that. Overwatch, the Halloween event, is live. We did a loot crate unboxing. Speaking of how to do loot crates correctly, I would say, Overwatch got some Halloween skins. And really all that matters is Zarya's. Apologies to Jean-Luc because I didn't really tell him that he should be prepared for this. But there's some good skins, but Joey was nice enough to point out that Zarya's new 80s, obviously they're all costumes, but she's got an 80s skin. Also, that right there looks like Deckard's gun from Blade Runner. Is that supposed to? Was that a Blade Runner costume that I missed?
No, with a pirate costume, I believe.
Oh. Here we go. We got some McCree, a lot of good skins. This is live now. It's on PC and PS4, I would assume. So you can go check this out. But yeah, basically Zarya's got this 80s like workout costume with knee-high socks, and her gun's pretty great too. So just go look at that.
Dragon Symmetra.
Dragon Symmetra's really good.
There she is. Oh my god, that tights.
Hopefully,
so
if
good.
we see her gun, her cannon looks pretty dope.
You can see your guns right now.
Yeah,
that's true.
Let's get physical. There it is.
So cool.
Also, what's his name? Zenyatta's like Cthulhu-looking squid thing is pretty cool too.
I've heard that's the coolest one. I haven't seen it yet though.
I thought it
You
was.
heard wrong. You just saw the coolest one.
And was that he was a Viking, but like I immediately thought of Lost Vikings. If that was like,
Oh, it could be, yeah.
like I wonder how similar that was.
Nice callback, Rob.
That would make sense, right?
Yeah, she looks so good.
What is Widowmaker?
That's
Symmetra.
yeah.
That's the dragon one you're talking about. Wow, she looks like Widowmaker for a second.
Right,
Did
she
she
really.
have the gun?
I thought
Yeah, look at the eye and the gun. That's pretty
the
cool.
gun is so
Eye
good.
moves.
Alright.
I mean, I found out yesterday that I can get Witch Mercy because I missed Witch Mercy the first time, so I am tempted to play again. But also, yeah, Cthulhu.
His feet are just
Zenyatta's.
like 2 tentacles.
Oh,
coming
it's
out.
so cool.
All right.
I love
well,
Halloween.
We did a stream, right? The normal Eric Tay, Joey Yee unboxing stream, unboxing loot crate stream. We just pay like what $50, and then see what we get.
I didn't catch it, but
That's usually what they do. So you can go check that out. It's probably archived on YouTube, Twitch, if you want to check that out. Get a closer look at the skins. We also have galleries up if you're interested. Otherwise, just go play it because that game is still phenomenal.
I can't wait to do that with Battlefront 2 when it comes out.
You're really itching to get to that microtransactions chat, aren't you? Before we get there, Iron Banner is also live in Destiny 2. As opposed to the first game, Iron Banner does not take your weapon stats and whatnot into account. It's all a level playing field, correct?
Yes.
Callie, you've been playing this?
Yeah, it's some people were a little disappointed because it's kind of like for as far as PvP goes, you have quick play, which is like the most relaxed, and there's competitive, which are more high intensity modes, and then there's Trials of the Nine, and then the next level would be Iron Banner, where your power or light would come into account. But they changed that this time. I think that's part of Destiny 2's like overall push towards making things more accessible for all players. I mean, you do get different loot for doing Iron Banner, so there are reasons to do it. And it's kind of, I think that I don't remember which class it was, but it sort of looks like samurai-esque. So
Yeah,
I'm going for that.
all three of those suits.
The
kinda
Titan.
have a little
The
bit-
Titan one's super samurai.
The Warlocks looks kind of like medieval tunic, like chainmail almost.
Yeah.
If that's even a good comparison. Maybe like a Winterfell armor set from Game of Thrones. I don't know. I've been rewatching that. It's weird because Iron Banner to me, aside from the loot, like you mentioned, specific loot, Callie, it was always that kind of thing to actually show off what I've earned in multiplayer.
Like if you worked really hard to get
outside of
like,
your aesthetics.
Yeah, to get to max power, which in max power sounds so stupid. Max light or whatever you want to call it. Get that. It's 305 in this game. Like you get there, and then that's your opportunity to like really show off. And that's, you're right. That's kind of, I think, where some people are coming to this with disappointment.
Even as someone who didn't play Destiny 1, I'm finding that although I enjoy the opportunity to get new loot, it does feel like a missed opportunity to offer what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
That high level reward for the best players, quote unquote.
Yeah, because I mean, ostensibly, you could just enter with a very, very low level character,
Aaron
and
was
Iron
in there
Banner
with
won't
a
matter.
power 11 character.
Oh,
I didn't even know
no,
you could have a
no.
power 11.
Yeah,
He took clothes off
No, it
right at
was
the beginning of the game.
it was a level 11, wasn't it?
No,
No, it was like the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
What?
you save your first armor. That's what I did.
Oh, and
Threw him in the vault.
And
yeah,
he's still, like,
he
wrecked?
ripped it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like damaged. It's like what the gear's
that
called.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You can go check all this out on GameSpot. Like I said, this is also an archive stream from when Tay was playing. We also will have, I don't know, do we have like guides up for any of that? Probably not for Iron Banner.
We have
Just
like
play your ass off and hope you get the gear.
yeah, there's we have
I
like rundowns of what it is and how it
Yeah.
works.
I know. I think it was Tay was saying that he got 4 loot drops and 2 were dupe weapons and only 1 was an armor piece.
Yeah, I've turned it in for like 5 packages now, and I've only gotten 1 piece of Iron Banner gear.
Well, that's live if you want to play it. I also, before we get into the Star Wars trailer, because I know most people watching this will kind of like to hear about that, I saw Blade Runner 2049 again. Like, I was looking up, I was reading reviews afterward, and apparently a lot of movie critics were saying this is like the most adamant a company has ever been, saying don't spoil anything. So like if you read reviews, they're all super broad, and I can understand why, I would say, especially if you've seen the first movie. But I absolutely love this movie. I would highly suggest going to see it. Jared Leto is not my favorite part, but everything else is great. Denis Villeneuve is quickly becoming like already is an amazing director with Sicario, Arrival. This is just another addition to his portfolio, and I highly recommend it. Even if you didn't see the first one, it helps if you've seen the first one, but this does new things as well.
This is like one of the reviews I read as well was like, say what you will about the plot or like any issues you had with this movie, like you cannot argue like its attention to each frame.
Oh,
Like,
I would
frame
watch
by
this with the
frame.
volume off.
Oh my god, it's like just like you cannot help
It's
but be
gorgeous.
just blown away like throughout the entire time. It's different. It's like one of the if not the most like ambitious sci-fi I think I've ever seen. Like in like our modern era of like sci-fi blockbuster movies, like it's something completely different.
It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. which just sounds long, and it does. I think it dragged maybe toward the end of like the first hour, maybe
That's
midway
fair.
through. But other than that, it didn't feel that long. Like I was, there were scenes in this movie that for the first time in a while when I saw this movie, there were scenes I didn't want to end. They were so good, and I was like, oh, I don't want to leave the scene, and that happened several times.
Yeah.
But yeah, go check that out. I highly recommend it. Rob, did you see it last night or something?
I saw it
2 nights ago.
Friday.
Okay. Yeah, that movie's great. I highly recommend it to everyone.
And also definitely avoid drinking or like not booze, but in general, like,
Oh, to go to the bathroom.
Oh my god, I was
Okay.
like,
oh my God,
what
like
kind of experience did you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just had that experience. Was like I have, once I'm thinking about it, it's just the worst. Then
Yep.
I'm like not enjoying the movie. I'm so freaking bad at
There
that.
should be like a group voting thing in a movie theater where if like everyone pushes the button at the same time on their seat,
Bring it.
10
Or
minutes.
back the intermission. Why not?
Go see.
Sprinting down, just like thinking like, okay, this looks pretty boring. I think running to the bathroom sucks.
Yeah, it's an amazing movie. Bring a catheter if you need to. Go see it. It's well worth checking out. Star Wars: Last Jedi trailer drops during Monday Night Football on ESPN the other night. I think overall positive thoughts. Rob, you're super stoked. Josh Shaw, former producer, where you guys were going through a lot of thoughts.
You know what's interesting is like compared
I was
to
gonna say super stoked, but
super
Yes.
damn, you should have.
Kelly watched the process.
I
of
watched
being-
him rethink the joke. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
That's
you
a
like. I
pretty
heard
good
you
one.
go. What's this guy got?
Anyway,
brewing?
sorry, Rob.
It's what's I think. I don't know. At this point, I don't want a spoilery, or any spoilers, right? Like no one wants that.
This is a long trailer.
This
right?
was a long trailer, but like I was surprised compared to the other trailers that. Oh, by the way, his hand has the same blaster damage from Return of the Jedi when he got shot on the
That's so cool.
on Jabba's what was it? What's it called? That barrage? Was it? What do you
Oh,
call
the
that?
barge.
Barge.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's desert skiff.
Barrage.
Anyway,
Anyways, compared to other trailers, like I mean, I'm always in like the thread, the subreddits for Star Wars leaks and stuff like that, and like there wasn't that much to pull from this. Like this movie is still pretty unknown. Like we have, you could say like, oh, this looks like a battle here or there, but for the most part, like heavy-handed in misdirection, right? Like the last, there's like notable moments. Like this was one.
Yeah, this could.
I started crying when I
And
saw Carrie Fisher.
I was watching this for the 100th time last night. Look in the background; those dudes are way too chill walking around. If there
for
are
a battle.
if they're under attack,
There's
right?
another one later on in this trailer. Okay, the Porg is really cute.
Boo.
No.
I'm not a Porg fan.
Oh,
Bring
man.
back the Ewoks.
Well, Ewoks are great.
That's literally what they're saying.
Yeah, it's totally. I think he's cute. I don't know. Wait, what? Okay, I don't. Okay, so there's another
What?
shot later on where when Ray says like, "I need someone to show me my place" and all this, and then it cuts to the next shot and it's Kylo holding out his hand, and they make it look like it's the same scene, but we were talking about. I don't think it is.
Yeah, I really don't think it is. I think she's talking to Luke on Octu, the planet she's training on at night. She's even
Or in a
wearing
cave or something?
She's wearing. Oh, you didn't show it. You cut early, I guess. But the lighting is very different.
In his scene, it's like flames falling
He's
behind
got
him.
like embers
Yeah.
flying around. In
Yeah.
hers, it's very directional as far as the light. Like her face is very much like has shadow on the right side. He's like pretty evenly lit.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, hers looks like.
Those look like
Yeah.
different shots or different
Those don't
locations
look like
even.
the same
Uh,
shot.
But that's
great.
Like
That's so great.
you pointed out, like Force Awakens had a lot of misdirection in the trailer as well.
Not as much as this.
right.
So like these trailers.
Well, I guess it remains to be seen.
Yes, you're right. We
What if
don't know.
What if they're just planting the seed of misdirection and it's all?
They just like gave us
That's
the
the
actual
thing.
plot. and
Well,
we're
you
all
think
talking
about
it.
you think about those guys on Twitter, right? Adam Driver
Right.
and Ryan Johnson. Don't watch the trailer. It's spoilery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
And he's like, no, watch it.
or if
Yeah.
you're
Don't watch it. I don't know.
or if you're another major game/entertainment site, you can tweet saying that Ryan Johnson said don't watch the trailer and take it completely out of context and make it seem like he said that when he didn't. But yeah,
Oh, wait,
it's
wait, I'm sorry. He did not say that.
no. Well, he said I'm torn because the trailer's great, but if you want to go in completely free, maybe avoid it. But
Sure.
someone else was on their Twitter account said Ryan
Oh.
Johnson says definitely don't watch the trailer.
Right.
I think someone else asked him like, "Who's Ray talking to?" And he just said Luke.
Yeah. No, they were like,
Oh, really? For the last part?
was
Yeah,
it Variety? They were saying like, good luck getting Ryan Johnson or Kathleen Kennedy to say who the Last Jedi is. 'Cause
Oh,
we
sure,
asked him,
okay.
and then he just responds and says it's Luke.
Yeah,
That's right.
But yeah, overall positive thoughts. The only thing I don't like was Poe's line, and I've been going off about this.
I liked it. I thought his line
So
was...
a lot of
it's
people,
a bit hammy.
a lot
It's
of
hammy, but it's
Yeah.
like so Star Wars.
I mean,
man.
like,
He's just-
when has Star Wars not been hammy though?
right,
Thank
but
you.
this one didn't seem
Episode
like to
2.
fit Poe. It wasn't like there's cheesy. There's like I love you, I know, but there's and then in the Rogue One trailer when what's her name, Jyn Erso was saying like, "This is the rebellion, right? I rebel." I actually liked that line because it seemed like a little bit defiant. Poe was just like overly.
I thought Rebel. I thought that was
We're on different
more
pages.
cheesy than this one.
I'm one of those people who liked Rogue One a lot, so
Yeah.
I can't really
Man, it
talk
doesn't-
too much about
Yeah.
the
But either
difference in
way.
those lines. But
Positive thoughts about Ryan Johnson's episode 8 coming out December 15th.
Yes.
everybody got
I
tickets.
got 1:15 a.m. tickets, 2 of them.
Rob bought like 200
Yeah,
tickets.
Rob blacked out and just like threw his credit card into the movie theater.
My mindset.
We don't sell
my
those
mindset-
tickets here.
My mindset was so horrible. I like, okay, got Thursday night, and then I got Sunday night. And I was like, well, I'm gonna go Friday, Saturday then without seeing it, like just in case. And then the other part was like, yeah, like seriously, like 2 angels, like a devil and angel,
2 angels.
and a third angel. I don't know what I'm saying, but they were just like,
Yeah, just do it. I mean, come on. Like, when it comes down to it, this is the last time you'll be able to get it.
oh yeah, good point.
What's the what hour is the first showing on Thursday that you got tickets for?
Oh,
Me, it was like 7.
What? That's so
Yeah,
nice.
I'm
Mine's at
1:15.
11.
I'm 2 hours behind you.
Oh my god.
Every other seat I tried to get, I meant to get 2 tickets for my girlfriend and myself, and all these seats were just 1. Like I could have gone with her and at like a 8 p.m. showing and sat like a theater away, but I was just like, I'll wait. Just
Aw.
stay off Twitter for that next 5 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah, delete it from your phone for a little bit.
it's absurd how quickly those tickets went too.
Overall, positive though. Positive trailer.
It was my favorite.
Didn't hit me as
trailer.
much as that second Force Awakens trailer, but I don't think anything ever will.
You're thinking of the third one.
The third one? It's the third one. It was like,
The third
bum,
one.
bum, bum,
Oh my
yeah, that one's good.
I
send her away.
I really did start tearing up when I saw Carrie Fisher though.
Oh yeah.
Which is
so like she has to die in The Last Jedi, right? They said she's not going to be in Episode 9,
It's not true.
but she's not going to be in Episode 9, correct? And I thought they confirmed that they're not going to do any CGI with her, or have they already shot scenes with her? Because they said they're not going to bring her back in CGI.
They said that's a good point. They said,
But that could be
about,
misdirection as well. Maybe
They
shot
said
a lot of
Maybe
scenes.
these movies don't even exist. Maybe it's all misdirection.
Maybe none of this exists.
Maybe everything is made up and nothing matters.
I'm pretty sure Kathleen Kennedy said something about like how the episode 9 will like not like toss her out completely. Like it will be tied in.
Okay.
There's a rumor that like
Maybe
of these,
Kylo will just blow her up in that scene.
there was a rumor of these 3 movies originally. What they wanted was like Force Awakens to be about Han Solo, this one to be about Luke, and the last one to be about Leia.
Sorry, that was like the original.
That was an
arc?
original. Yeah, that
okay.
was like a big deal. Is what people were saying.
Okay.
Sorry, my phone's just like
Interesting.
going off.
All right.
So popular.
People are mad because we're not talking about games because we don't like anything else besides games. So let's get to that.
Yeah.
Stardew Valley is on Switch now as of last Tuesday, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
that.
No.
The
Sorry.
5th?
No.
Maybe Thursday.
Thursday was Axiom
Yeah.
Verge and Stardew Valley. Tuesday was Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time, which I'm still trying to get people to play with me. One of the better, maybe not better, but one of the most like underappreciated co-op games in the last few years. I love that game, and it's inspired by the turret scene with Han and Luke in A New Hope.
Oh, that's right. I keep hearing about that.
We should play that.
But-
You can play 4-player on one screen.
Wait,
Use
really?
Joy-Cons, yeah.
Oh.
2 or 4.
Cool.
I really want to say how excited I am that you've been tweeting about Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
You feel like you're converted.
I did, totally. I drank the Kool-Aid finally. I didn't really.
Yeah.
The Doolade?
Oh my god.
I'm real bad.
no,
I'm
don't
sorry.
stop. You're fucking on a
John
roll.
Luke, you have blue hair.
Stop holding back. Oh, so
No,
here's-
this is old footage of Mary's.
Oh,
live
this is
stream.
old footage of Mary Kish's. So I played on PC 2 years ago when it came out. Was it 2015 or 2016? Correct me. I think maybe it was 16 last year. Yes.
Sorry.
So I played it, and I didn't really get into it. I felt like I was doing something wrong, and then the more I heard about it over the last year, the more I was excited to play it on Switch. Because it was made. I mean, the Switch is perfect for it, and it's one of
Yeah.
the perfect Switch games. I've been up till like 3 a.m. the past 3 nights playing it just because I'm laying in bed and I'm gonna say like, oh, I'll do some farming. On Wednesdays when the shops are closed, I'll either go mining or I'll go fishing. Fishing can be hard in this game. Like I suck at it at first.
Fishing is tricky. There's a lot of things about the controls that I find help. Like fishing, I think was harder for me on PC where I originally played it. I tweeted about beating the arcade game in the saloon, Journey of the Prairie King. That game is really hard.
Was it like
and it's a
what
twin
kind of game?
It's a twin stick shooter. So on PC it's extremely difficult, and doing any diagonal shooting is pretty much impossible. So there's a lot of improvements there. I will say that the loading and saving times are a little long.
It even says on the loading screen. Maybe this is the case on PC, PS4 as well, but
No,
on the
it's
Switch
not.
it says this process can take a long time.
I like the word choice, not like this process can take a moment. This process can take a long time.
It straight up says that, and then finally it dings, and the green thing says progress saved.
Yeah,
and
and
the next day.
And it's a little. I wouldn't say it's frustrating or even annoying. It's just like that's the one blemish on an otherwise like ideal way to play this game.
Yeah.
So it's not harming the experience for me. I'm so happy I can play this, on the train or in bed, or, I can bring it with me, which is what I wanted originally when I played it on PC. So I'm very, very happy about that.
Another minor thing that I had to look up.
Also, why is Mary carrying this BlackBerry?
I know.
Where's she going with this?
I think she just needs
Mary.
to switch to her tools. But another minor thing is the menus. I would recommend going into the options and changing the selection cursor to like manual on the right analog stick, like a mouse cursor, because if you just try to use it like a normal controller menu interface, trying to think of how to describe this, rather than if you just use the basic default tile interface, like scrolling or like clicking to go left one square, some of the craftable items don't register. So
I had that problem too.
Yeah, the bonfire, the furnace. So I looked it up and people are saying, yeah, it sucks, but you just need to switch it to the manual like mouse cursor and use the right analog stick.
Yeah, and that's actually not very difficult to do, and you wouldn't have to use it that often unless there was something that you couldn't get on the crafting menu. So
how are the touchscreen controls though?
I don't think they're implemented, are they?
What? They're implemented for text. So like when I was naming my town and my dog and stuff like that.
That uses like the Switch keyboard.
Yeah, it uses the Switch keyboard. It's not like implemented into integrated into the game.
Which is actually a bummer. I was thinking about that yesterday because for those menus, that would be the touchscreen would be
it would be
primo.
perfect. Yeah.
I named my farmer Dwight, and then my farm is Shroot Farm, and my dog is
And
Mose.
you're just gonna have beats.
Yeah, my chicken is Toby, the HR rep that nobody likes in the show.
That's perfect.
But I also made him look like Dwight. He's wearing a mustard-colored shirt, brown pants, and they have a hairstyle. From the front, it looks like him. It's like the parted bangs, but then from the side, it's more of a mullet. Either way, he's doing well.
This is Journey of the Prairie King. Woo!
Oh, is this the twin stick you were just talking about? So you went to the saloon.
I honestly, for the first weekend, so this past weekend, this is all I did was play this game. And then I finally beat it. And when you beat it, you get a version of you get an arcade cabinet for your house. So now I can play it whenever I want.
Yeah.
Oh, she did not like that game.
Well, what's the other game?
You need a key to open
outta
that.
here.
You need a key to open it. So you can't get it right away.
Playing a game within a game is such a bizarre thing to me.
What's it called? It's funny because back in Time Splitters 2,
Organize your menus.
on your temporal uplink, which is essentially the item that just has your map and like heat signatures, you could go to it and play. It was Centipede, and I think there were 2 other games. I forget what they were. But then if you played Homefront: The Revolution last year, 2 years ago, whenever it came out, you could play 2 levels from Time Splitters 2. Because it was all the IDOS people, I believe.
Don't forget, Animal Crossing had NES games in it.
That's
That
what I was
too.
going to bring up. Actually, I played a lot of NES games on the original Animal Crossing, which was my first introduction to those games.
Whoa.
Breath of the Wild had Shadow of Mordor in it. No, I'm kidding.
I love game within a game. stuff.
Observer had games in it.
Really? I didn't get that far in that game. I wish I did.
Oh yeah.
Especially after seeing Blade Runner, it kind of made me want to go back to it.
Danganronpa 2 had a Tamagotchi thing in it, but of course was really twisted.
Which are back now, by the way.
I know, I saw.
Prepare to let a cute thing die.
What is Danganronpa and what are Tamaguchis? No, I'm kidding. Stardew Valley has consumed my week, and it's going really well.
Yay.
I would say my farm is profitable. I just love... I don't know. I never usually got into games like this. Maybe I would like Animal Crossing now that I've been liking Stardew Valley, but I didn't really like this first. Maybe it was because... I don't know. Again, it was PS4. I didn't like playing this game in front of a screen that way, like just sitting there kind of... I get it. I get the appeal now, but it just feels so much more tailor-made for the Switch.
I mean, I will say, like, going from GameCube Animal Crossing to Wii Wild World on DS, I could not go back to console Animal Crossing. And when City Folk came out on Wii, I played maybe an hour and I was like, I'm not into this. I think platform can be a really big part of your enjoyment of a game, especially a game like this. And I will say, like I've said before, Stardew Valley just does a really good blend of you're managing a farm. It is a farm sim, but you have, the relationship stuff, you have the mines, and managing your time between those different activities is just a really strong part of this game.
There's a lot of like late game stuff that I didn't know existed in terms of your relationships and stuff. It's also kind of interesting to see how, the whole premise at the beginning is you're leaving an office job because your grandpa left the farm to you and he said, this could just be exactly what you need. But of course, like when you want to get really into it, you run the danger of just creating your own daily grind again and not like connecting with people.
Right.
And that can become a problem later in the game. But still, I don't think they don't like chastise you for anything really. I mean, there's definitely, I think you can get more enjoyment if you are like fostering those relationships with people. I think that's the point of the game, honestly, when it comes down to it. But in every other aspect, it's great about just letting you play how you want it. And I think that's the key thing here. I stopped worrying about what I was doing correctly or incorrectly, and I just enjoyed it. And I think it's really good at encouraging that.
Which, is like you said, that's the point.
What the hell? Why is there fruit lying in this cave?
You can pick whether you want mushrooms or fruit in your cave.
What do you mean your cave?
Also,
you can plant stuff in there?
No, you can't plant, but there's a cave on your farm. And also, I know Mary really wanted to marry Sebastian, and that's one of his favorite gifts, so she should totally go give it to him, and retroactively, I would tell her to do that.
Sorry, is that part of a quest, or will fruit just start growing in your cave randomly?
I forget how it initiates, but you have an opportunity to say, I want bats in my cave, or I want mushrooms in my cave, or whatever the two options are, and so one of the options gets you fruit, and one option gets you mushrooms.
Cool.
Depends on what you want. And I don't know who to marry, and it's really stressing me out.
I like Abigail. I think she's the one with purple hair.
Yeah.
She's really brooding.
Well, see, I'm torn between the emo guy and the skateboarder.
Shane and Alex.
Sebastian and Sam.
Never mind. No, Shane, who's the one with the football one is Alex.
The football one's Alex.
He always says, oh, we'll play catch tomorrow, but then he never does.
Oh, he told me that he would play catch with me if I wasn't a girl.
Oh, my God. Alex is such a dick.
And I was like, excuse me?
Stardew Valley.
He could have Haley.
Stardew Valley's great. As if enough people haven't been recommending it, I've gotten on that bandwagon, and I really like it. If you have a Switch and haven't played it, or if you have a Switch and you haven't, and you played it on PC, this is a great time to play it again. If you don't have a Switch, just get a Switch. Cool. So that's Stardew Valley. GT Sport, Pete, you played a little bit of it lately. The latest entry in the Gran Turismo series.
Sorry, I need to wake up. I was
from Mr. Yamauchi, the creator of
Kazunori Yamauchi. Yes.
Kazunori Yamauchi. You played a little bit of it. You thought you had a sizable demo that you've been kind of tinkering around
demo,
with.
Yeah.
Big ass demo.
Yep.
Nice.
How is it so far?
I like it quite a bit. Gran Turismo is a bit of a strange racing game. If you just look at it as a racing game, it's a very sim focused. It's very focused on being like realistic in many ways. You can tune your car in just too many ways than I can really understand. Like, I'm not a motorhead, but I have to imagine this is perfect for someone that likes to tinker with that stuff. And you can also dial it back and add some assists so you can just have fun driving. They put a lot of attention to detail in the cars, the environments as well, although I'm kind of mixed feelings on them, but I've only seen a few because the demo doesn't have everything just yet. But one of the things that Gran Turismo offers is sort of these lessons, and it used to be a license system where you would have to earn your license with various classes of cars, and they take you through baby steps, and it sounds boring, like drive 100 meters and stop in this little area. It sounds very boring on paper, but when you do it, especially within a game that is so demanding like this, you feel like you slowly come to grips with what it's asking of you, when you turn the assists off. So it's actually a really nice way to sort of immerse yourself in the game bit by bit and get better. It's also the UI in this series is always a mess.
Yeah,
and
I was going to say, wow.
I was about to say it.
Continues to be a mess.
Looks like a level creator.
Yeah, it's really rough. It doesn't take too long to really get used to it, but it's not what I would call great. But one of the awesome things about this track mode screen is, as you can see, is just sort of like cycling through footage. And I forgot to give Jean-Luc the proper footage right now, but okay, so here you go. Once in a while, it'll show you like a car and give you a year. and then it'll fade to a slide where it's like, in 2008, Amy Winehouse won a Grammy. Or like in 1976, the anti-neutrino was discovered. Like,
Why?
and I have no clue.
I kind of
To
like.
contextualize
I
the
kind
history
of
around.
like that. Yeah.
They contextualize the history around it, but it's not relevant to the cars.
No.
A neutrino's got.
Well, Amy
fuck
Winehouse
all to
drove
do
a
with-
Ferrari.
Yeah, sure. And so you kind of like sit here and you almost like wait for these things to pop up because they're so ridiculous. But you can also go into a museum where it'll take you step by step through the history of each car manufacturer, and then you can actually like go down to the timeline beneath it to see all of the oddities that are in the game, in terms of events from the past. It's really quirky stuff like that, but it adds like a unique air to the game that you just don't get from something like Forza. Not to say that like it has to be Gran Turismo versus Forza, but having spent some of the weekend playing that to prepare myself for this, because I haven't really been into racers in the past few years, Forza 7, I think, has one of the least likable relationships, like the least likable dialogue with you as a game and you as a player. It has this like weird, stiffly animated like racer who's always kind of like bobbing up and down on the screen, and this narrator like, yeah, you made the next step in your career, like you're about to rank up, bud. Like it's. Meanwhile,
What about
this
that
is just
Burnout
like.
game?
Was
Was that 2 years ago? The live action cutscenes? Was that Burnout?
We'll
get back to it. I'll look it
Anyway,
No, it was Need for Speed.
Yeah, sorry.
okay. So this takes a very classy sort of like I feel like if Kazunori Yamauchi is a very wealthy guy, I have to assume. He like got himself into professional racing having like no experience and takes it very seriously, but he's like funded a lot of it all himself. And I have the feeling that like his mansion is sort of like the spirit of Gran Turismo, like where he lives, there must always be like piano playing and like Celine Dion walks by at one point. Like it's just like it's this like strange classiness that you're like,
Yeah,
I don't get
The
it.
definition of classy is.
That's why I
I
said
feel
strange.
you. I feel you.
It's like I don't know why, but like I feel like I'm more sophisticated playing this game than any other racing game, which has nothing to do with the racing of it. But the racing is also very sophisticated and complex and nuanced and interesting.
Because I was asking you this the other day. If you were gonna like put it on a scale from arcade to sim, it would kind of be in the middle.
Well, in the middle, because you can have assists like Forza where you don't even have to brake. You can just hold down the accelerator and just power through levels.
Yeah.
But that brings me to my next point. So Gran Turismo 6, which I did play, that game was littered with microtransactions, and the economy was skewed so that you would have to race a stupid amount of times to afford the cars you really wanted, or just pay $100 of real-world currency to afford that car. Like, mind-bogglingly, it was a poor decision that ruined the experience of Gran Turismo for me personally. So coming to this, it's like they fixed a lot of that stuff. I haven't seen anything with microtransactions. There are two types of currency, but I'm earning them both, and they sort of feed into different marketplaces. Like, one I use to buy cars from the showroom. The other one I use to buy like cosmetic stuff and special cars that pop up. And I'm getting enough of each that I feel like, oh, if I want something, I know I just need to race for like 20 minutes and I'll get it. So I don't feel like I'm being like backed into a corner at all. But Gran Turismo 6 had almost 1,200 cars in it. Now, some of them were outdated models and stuff like that, whatever. This game only has like just over 100, which doesn't sound so bad, except when you consider that like Nissan or Mitsubishi, it's their cars. It's like 4 versions of the Lancer, and that's 4 out of the 100 some odd cars. Right. So it's like
You start losing
And that's
cars
total, not
quick.
just not
That's
just for
total.
the demo.
yes, that's total.
Wow.
Yeah, from everything I've read. If I'm wrong, shoot me down. But I'm pretty sure that is everything I've read outside of the demo. And in essence, this feels like a prologue experience. And a prologue is, they've released a couple of them in the Gran Turismo series. They come before the main game, and it's sort of like, look, we want to give you something. We want to show you what's coming. Here you go. But this is not called prologue. This is called GT Sport. So there's that sort of misnomer. But the other thing involved is that, I know, right?
What?
I know,
In
I know.
1972, Steve Buscemi was born.
So the other thing that sort of hampers this game is that it's always online, and that is because it's tied into an FIA sponsored, ranked, supported racing championship series. Like, so this game is being removed from the casual racing fan audience in a sense and being tailored for, I want to be a professional race car driver on the internet. I want to enter a championship that when I win, I'm recognized by a national body, and it's super important. So everything has to, you can barely play this game if you're not online, because the FIA is regulating how who has what cars, how the currency is managed, all of this. Everything is tracked by this racing body, which is like, okay, very interesting. But why can't I opt out of that?
Yeah.
If I never in my life want to be involved with that shit, which I personally do not, why do I have to succumb to those limitations? That for me is a little bit of a problem. And that is indicative of why Gran Turismo is always sort of this game that exists on the fringe, where the hardcore people can really get into it, even if it's not perfect. And other people can still appreciate it, like me. But there's always like something that keeps it, at least in the past few games, that keeps it just out of reach from being like truly awesome. And so far, I'm not feeling that this is a truly awesome game. I feel like it has the potential, but it's being held back in a number of ways. And obviously, I haven't played even half of what's available because it's a big demo for sure, but it doesn't have everything. I can play all the modes, but not all the maps, not all the trials and the learning tutorials, none of that. Some of that, not all of it. But I do feel like this game has a problem, a fundamental foundational issue in that it's tied into the FIA in this circuit thing. And again, I have to point back to Kazunori Yamauchi for that because I think that it's his personal preferences are driving this.
Do you think in the modern landscape of racing games, you have Forza 7 and then Forza Horizon 3 last year. What else you have? Like you said, Need for Speed, more arcadey. But do you think GT is still relevant, or is that maybe the FIA thing, their attempt to do something different?
Well, it's definitely an attempt to do something different. I think it's very much still relevant because people are still excited for this series, which means that it's relevant. Mm-hmm. But I think that this game will hurt the long-term relevance of Gran Turismo, a series that's been hurting in its last few entries. I don't think it'll ever get back to where it was. Like 4 was an incredible game that I remember with with great fondness, and 5 was really great too on PS3, although it came out a bit too early for that generational leap, I think.
Was A-Spec 3?
Yeah.
That was my first PS2 game ever.
I'm pretty sure that was 3. Yeah. It's a quirky racing series that you have to appreciate some of the strange things it does. Like they work with car manufacturers to get concept cars built just for this game, like designed by Honda. You know what I mean? Like or whatever manufacturer you're talking about, and that's pretty cool. But no longer can I go and buy the weird junker or like the old silly car like I used to. I used to be able to go. Any car, almost any car you could think of, you could say, wow, they have that car in there. That's 76 Alfa Romeo, whatever. Sure, I can get that. That VW from 1990, wow, what do you know? They have it too. Here, like the quirkiest thing I've seen is a VW bus. And that's one of like maybe 6 Volkswagens in this game. It's a bit disheartening as someone who's always loved the idea that, okay, I know if I was super passionate and like a hyper diligent racing fan that I could get that out of Gran Turismo, but I don't need to be that to enjoy it. I could enjoy it on many levels.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore as far as I can tell.
Seems almost like they're super encouraging that more high level professional kind of play as opposed to just letting you play how you want it, which sounds like that was one of the appeal of the series to you.
Yeah, and then there is still some accessibility. So within, the stuff that I can play with in this game, I can adjust it so it actually feels the way I want it to feel. So I still enjoy playing it, but I don't know if it has the long-term appeal for me. It's the sort of thing where, I'm going back and forth playing this and Forza and trying to like get a feel for like, okay, where does each one fall? And they feel very different. But right now I'm leaning towards, if I had to pick one racing game, I would currently pick Forza 7 out of those two. I still have to play more Gran Turismo, so we'll see. It has VR. I haven't really tried that in a great setting yet. That could be really cool. I haven't tried it with a wheel and stuff, so we'll see. Maybe there's something extra there for PlayStation VR owners to get excited about, but as of yet, I'm a little worried.
So GT Sport releases soonish. Next week on Tuesday?
On Tuesday.
That'll be the 17th.
Yes.
Yeah. For PlayStation 4. Pete, will we have anything up on the site, like gameplay-wise, or are we just going to wait until the review comes
Nothing
out?
yet. Just going to wait until the review.
Cool. I guess that's as good a transition as any to the main conversation today, which everybody on the YouTube chat at least is clamoring for. Forza 7.
What does clamoring look like?
Like people.
Come on, give it to me.
Yeah, that's exactly what you do.
Okay.
I don't know. I was thinking clam, but that's a lobster. That's a crab.
Your hands are individual clams.
Forza 7 came out, and there were loot crate concerns.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta was live late last week into what, yesterday or today? Yesterday.
Today as of 9 a.m. Pacific.
loot crates were a concern, and then of course Shadow of War. Much of the conversation, unfortunately, surrounding that since they announced them back in the summer was the loot crates. You can buy orcs, you can buy equipment. A lot of us have played more Shadow of War. I haven't. They're definitely lingering there. Justin Haywald puts it much more eloquently, and you can go more in depth with his review. But they're definitely there.
But they don't seem to matter that much.
No. As opposed to Battlefront 2, which is a huge kind of concern of Rob's. I know you've been playing a lot of that.
A lot of people, yeah. I mean, my concern, we had the 2 days early access for people who pre-ordered. So within my first 8 hours of playing open beta, it was a major concern. There's a lot to talk about with this stuff. So for those of you who don't know how this system works and this is again speaking on the beta, right? We do not know necessarily what the final product is going to look like. However, you're willing to bet that this is pretty much like it
comes out in November.
Comes out in a month.
They showed this off 6 months ago as well.
Yeah,
right.
We talked about this before.
Yeah. So what's going to change are basically balancing and what comes in a crate. But this is ingrained into the gameplay. This is how it works. This is how you progress in this game, is by opening crates. How it works is there are different rarities associated with crates. Star cards are where you get out of them. We do not know, and that's another thing that I'll talk about later. We do not know what these crates, what other forms they will take. I've heard rumors that there are crates specific to classes. So there are 4 classes. If I want to focus on a specialist class, I can get the specialist crate and be guaranteed 1 star card as of the beta. Now, yeah, you get 3 in each one, different levels of rarity, like uncommon, common, epic, legendaries. Legendaries, this is the kicker, legendary star cards you can only get in a loot crate. There is another way you can progress more or less is with crafting parts. Crafting parts I can get from loot crates, or I can get them through career, which is one of the top menus there. Career is basically like your challenges, where it's like kill 250 enemies in a Galactic Conquest map and get 20 credits points. My first frustration when I was playing after 8 hours was that I had 80 crafting points. I set a goal, and as far as the progression, progression, I was like, you know what? I like the specialist class. I want to put a scope on the rifle of this weapon. Well, I was still unable to do that because that crafting part costs 100 crafting parts. 8 hours in, I was unable to do my own challenge. You know what I mean? Like my own form of
putting a scope on a gun.
Putting a goddamn scope on a gun. I was not able to do that within 8 hours.
That's hour 1. That's just outrageous.
And
this
is 1 scope on 1 gun for a class. Like that made, like, Peter, I remember texting you late at night. I was really frustrated with that because what is happening is you're getting credits from after matches, which are not actually dependent on your skill. So if someone kicks ass, if someone plays like garbage, you're for the most part getting the same amount of credits. But you're opening crates, man. You're opening them fairly often. And what are you getting in these crates? Well, as of the beta, you're getting like so many times I was getting freaking emotes for like Rey or Boba Fett. Dude, I've never been I've been Boba Fett like once, and then the game ended. Like, it's just most of the time you're just getting shit. There was one time.
It just didn't give you what it promised it would give you. That was
once exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. One time I was like, because I will say a lot of things about this beta. The Starfighter mode is freaking awesome. I just this morning I played some more of it before it ended. I really like that mode. I really do. Yet there is a Starfighter crate. I opened that up. Guess what? I was supposed to be guaranteed. Didn't get a single Starfighter card.
It was like these things showed up.
It was just these. Yeah. It was like nothing that it was promised. Granted, that's beta, but that's annoying. I'm annoyed if I have two. There are 2 ways for me to progress, right? Either I luck out with the loot crate, or I use crafting parts, and said Loot Crate didn't even offer what it said in the beta.
At what point do you have to spend money?
At what? That's the fucking question. Because here's the thing, I will lose my mind, and I guarantee it. I will lose my goddamn mind. I'm already losing it. If there are legendary Loot Crates, guaranteed legendary Loot Crates, which I think there will be, that's messed up. That is the most aggressive mobile game Loot Crate system I've ever heard.
Apologies if you said this already, but don't you say when people kill you, it shows what they had equipped? So
damn right it does.
So at first I was like, why would they do that? That's just gonna make you feel like
I
holy
need
fuck,
to get
they
more
bought
cards,
that.
dude.
But and then that's the thing. Like they're just trying to lure you into it. Like that guy just killed you with this ability, so why not go buy this?
And there are so many things that were racing through my head that one night where I was frustrated. I was like, I'm thinking about it's Star Wars, right? Think about the audience that franchise has just locked. There are guaranteed going to be 12-year-old kids who have maybe access to their parents' card who, it is a euphoric rush when you open one of those things up and you get something sick. It happened to me. I was like, sick. my bomber's health now is real great, or his damage output is really awesome now. That's a rush, and you're consistently doing that shit, and you have to. Here, that's another thing I hope they fix is you can't do that in between rounds. I have to legit leave the game and go into this damn menu, open it up, put it on, upgrade if I want. I don't know. It's just
these are similar issues to Destiny. I have.
Yeah,
At least there's no. I mean, separate.
That's
Eververse.
Yeah, and that's so minor to the grand scheme of what we're really talking about. But I just think about that. If this game is going to be throwing Loot Crates so often for frankly an impressionable kid, that's scary to me. That's
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So, by the way, so the thing is, again, it's when I say legendary crates, it's because if they do that and they're guaranteed one legendary card, dude, think about that mindset.
Yeah.
That's great. How often do I get legendary cards? Well, I can only get it. That's the end game, right? Is you want legendary cards on all your shit that you like. Meaning you have to. The only way you can get one is by opening up a crate. And if they are guaranteeing one with, I'm not saying they are doing this, but that's what's going to set me over. It's screw that. I don't want to have to keep thinking about that and get killed by a guy with 3 legendary cards on day 2.
I mean, the bottom line issue is that this just supersedes the game itself. It sounds like this is the thing that stands out to you the most.
Pay to win.
It's pay to win, and the fact that it's not that the gameplay isn't good enough, but it's that EA is focusing much more on this system than actually just providing a good game to people. It's manipulation.
Right. The gambling
it's
part is the game.
Right.
So
the gambling part is the game.
Glad you guys brought that up.
Yeah.
Because that's a bunch of people in the YouTube chat are saying, why don't they just file a complaint saying it's gambling? So Jason Schreier over at Kotaku today at noon, or was that today? He spoke to the ESRB, and they say they don't see loot boxes as gambling. They said the statement reads, ESRB does not consider loot boxes to be gambling. They told Kotaku, while there's an element of chance in these mechanics, the player is always, italics, guaranteed to receive in-game content, parentheses, even if the player unfortunately receives something they don't want, a la duplicates or something that they didn't know they were going to get, maybe a skin they didn't want or a gun they didn't want, or ability they didn't want.
Oh, okay.
We think of it as a similar principle to collectible card games, like Pokemon. Sometimes you'll open a pack and get a brand new holographic card you've had your eye on for a while, but other times you'll end up with a pack of cards you already have. So it's not gambling because unlike a slot machine, you're always guaranteed to get something.
But you do know when you're buying a pack of cards, the chances of finding something rare.
Yeah.
I think in situations like this, they should at least give stats you will
Be
get a legendary
transparent.
every 50 boxes, or
Right.
you have a 1 in 20 chance, something like that.
When I can.
Because at what point is it? What point does it go from undesirable outcome but not gambling to a loss? Because it feels like the difference between gambling and loot boxes, according to this definition, is that you have a net gain according to
Sure.
the definition, but
a dupe is not a gain.
A dupe is not a gain to a player.
Right.
Correct.
But so at what point does
From a business standpoint, you still got a product.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So at what point does it bridge the gap. I mean, like, I think you're right in that if they provided some sort of like percentage or statistic to say like, here's the likelihood of getting something out of this box.
Then you would know. Then you wouldn't have to sit there.
You'd be an informed gambler at least.
Well, sure,
Like,
yeah. But like I know that idea like of you sort of get like overwhelmed with the hope that like maybe I'll get something, right? Like I sickeningly found myself last Saturday bored after playing Destiny for a few hours, not getting what I wanted, that I actually paid money to get some silver to buy something from Eververse.
Yeah, I did that once.
And I did that and I got shit and I was like, whoa, what came over me? Like,
Yeah.
and then I was thinking on the flip side, like, and if I had gotten something, would that have just reinforced the behavior for me? And what am I actually getting? Do I actually care about this? Do I even care about Destiny? It robs the game of its own identity and your relationship to it.
And again, like, I kind of think that what they were doing with this beta was just to test the waters with like balancing in that respect, meaning like, because I'm again like it's again what you're getting in these crates, right? Like I can't tell you the amount of times I got like a goddamn stormtrooper pose from this to like this, like 2 of those, and like emotes for
The
these
fact that
heroes.
those are in there to begin with,
I know.
shows how
they're diluting it, right?
they either don't understand things or they're purposely trying to screw with us.
Yeah.
So,
and here's the other thing too is that like where I mean they turn this function off, which is weird to me, because I would like to see how that system works. Is getting dupes. I got dupes probably 6 times, but I was not able, as they had said, to convert them into crafting parts. Because again, like a big part of that frustration that I was having was that like I wasn't getting enough crafting parts.
Right.
It was
Right.
that was taking way too slow.
Yeah.
That will be balanced. I would imagine that they're gonna like dial back a little bit, and make things more constructive again with like more classifications of like a starfighter, bomber crate that's more specific. Like they'll have maybe more of those to like ease the like people who complain about progression, but
it sucks that is the fulcrum for whether or not you like this game is how
Right.
they decide to balance
Yeah.
this shit.
Right.
And after the game comes out, and if it doesn't sell, that they can then change it. That's fucked.
it is fucked.
Ben Jank on our YouTube chat just brought up a good point. In China, Blizzard had to start disclosing loot crate probability drops, which those are all aesthetic. That's nothing like Battlefront 2, which is abilities and everything.
still
But
means
because
something.
China,
Still means
right?
something.
China was saying that it's because of gambling laws they had to disclose drop probabilities,
Yeah.
and if the ESRB were to classify microtransactions as gambling, these publishers or publishers would have to make these games adults only, which would cut out all of their sales because you can't sell adult-only games in retail stores. In like GameStop, in Best Buy, at Target, they would lose all their sales. Hence, they would get rid of microtransactions.
They could also just put in a progression model that is clear to the player, that doesn't revolve around random drops, and just sell you the shit you want for the money that you're going to pay for it up front. Like, you don't have to have this sort of like vague intermediary where it must be this random thing. Let me progress, and if that's not fast enough for me, sure, I'll throw you money if I really want to, if I want to be that guy. Just strip out the randomness of it. The randomness is the problem.
It's fine with
Flat
a
out.
free-to-play game, right? Because this is where this all started, I would say, back when like mobile games became big, free-to-play.
I don't know.
But that's
time is money, man. Like,
Right.
I don't know that it's okay.
No. But back with free-to-play, I feel like they're taking that model, which pretty much you just have the choice to spend more time to unlock these things or
Right.
spend money, which that plays off of the time you want to spend. Whereas these games, we're paying $60 already, right?
Right,
That's
exactly.
obviously
Yeah.
it goes without saying that's the huge problem with it, but. Then it becomes a problem because so I was curious because I know with mobile games, the free-to-play games make most of their money off like a select few whales.
Yeah.
People who spend a ton of money, whereas most people won't spend anything, according to statistics. So I was curious about how much money microtransactions actually make, and I didn't find a lot of figures because in my head I was like, at what point is the bad press going to deter publishers from even implementing these? Because I don't want to sound sappy, but my heart does break for developers. Like, I have to assume Monolith was not super on board with these microtransactions.
Dude, yeah.
I
What
have
about
to
the people
assume
making
Warner
a single
Brothers.
player
Yeah.
for Star
Right.
Wars,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Their work is being overshadowed.
Right.
Because
They
even
get
like Dice
shafted by it.
multiplayer, the people at Dice making multiplayer, I have to imagine it wasn't their decision. It must have come down from
No,
EA.
yeah, of course.
Like, you put all this
Right.
care into the
Forza.
design of the
Right.
game and the maps and stuff.
You
and
do what you
it's
can, but the
over-
legacy is tarnished.
Exactly.
So to clarify, Forza 7, they changed their like how you earn credits. It used to be you could spend like X dollars a year to be part of their premium club, which you would get plus 100% credits earned all the time. Now you get 25 like burner cards to do that essentially if you pay that premium price. Also, you used to be able to like change around your mods they're called mods. Like you could drive at night for extra credits.
Right.
Now those are also burner cards that you get randomly. So one day you'll get like drive at night for extra credits. The next day you'll get like drive this specific course, it's all random. So then you can't you don't know what you're gonna have to do to get the money. It's not clear. It's not transparent. It's not like people paying the premium price, whereas they used to just have a set plus 100% experience credit bonus. Now it's 25 one-time use cards. My question, and a lot of people, is at what point are EA or Warner Brothers or Microsoft going to start saying the bad press isn't worth it because this is a great game without it? So I looked up the price point that these microtransactions make, and the biggest figure I found as of last fall in November, I believe, was, I want to ask you guys, you might see it right now.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Ultimate Team across FIFA, Madden, and NHL, the last year's titles. How much do you think? So Ultimate Team being the main microtransaction focal point where people can pay for certain players and increase their team. You don't have to pay, but it expedites the process. In a game you already paid $60 for, how much do you think those 3 games made for EA in microtransactions? Callie, ballpark.
I'm so bad at this.
No, you're fine.
I'm curious, what other people's perception is
For the whole year,
You won't
I
get,
really
you won't get it.
no.
Don't worry.
I'll clarify. I'll give a little context.
Scared I'm gonna say
EA
something
made
stupid.
about 2.3 billion in all revenue last year. How much of that was Ultimate Team microtransaction purchases?
300,000
Okay.
is my.
Rob, did you see the
I
answer?
I did
can't.
see it.
You saw it? Do you see it?
Okay, but I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
Guess how much Activision made last year?
Wait, hold on. Let me tell EA. So you said 300,000, 650 million
What?
off Ultimate Team alone.
Sorry.
That's not counting. So now EA is putting this stuff on Battlefront 2. I mean,
People
all
put that much money into that?
And again, I don't they.
When
Not
you
many
hear
people
Activision.
disclose. Oh, shit. Not many people disclose their figures, but as of last year, that's what EA said on an earnings call. The CEO Jorgensen, is that his last name?
Jurgens.
I know nothing
He
about money.
said
Clearly,
650 million is Ultimate Team, specifically Ultimate Team microtransactions. That's not counting any number of other ways you can spend money to EA to give EA microtransactions. All right, Activision. What games
Just
Blizzard stuff?
Blizzard, Call of Duty.
Skylanders.
Sure.
What
I don't
do they
know.
make?
I don't know if Skylanders counts as microtransactions.
People are buying the toys. That's part of that platform.
Billion.
A solid bill? What do you got?
I would say a
I
billion.
don't want to guess again.
$1 billion and $1.
Ooh.
I'll do $1 billion minus $1.
$3.6 billion.
Okay, so EA is nothing.
You scared me more by doing this.
And it's in a lot of that. I can see that. I guess now that I think about it, Blizzard. I've been tempted to buy crates before. Did Mass Effect Andromeda have these? Because that's an early example I can think of. Mass Effect 3 had random loot crates, but the difference being there, although it might have sparked this kind of unfortunate trend, that was a co-op mode in Mass Effect 3. So it wasn't like Battlefront 2 where you're playing against other people who could be spending money or maybe not. That was a co-op mode. So if someone else spent more money, they're still on your team fighting off these aliens with you. So that wasn't much of a problem, and I actually probably spent maybe $50 getting those because that was the first instance of that. And I think that's the last time I've ever spent. Have you guys? Actually, I'm curious. I'm not gonna shame you, but have you spent money on microtransactions ever?
I have before.
Yeah,
I have before.
Overwatch and Mass Effect 3 for me. Overwatch, for specific, I was trying to get Halloween, Christmas costumes. Holiday costumes.
To be completely honest, I will do it, just to see. I'm sorry, I will do it once. Destiny was example was I just want to see what it is. Just
Falling
'cause
into that
I
trap.
want to know. It's horrible, but
Oh, see,
I don't know. I like
justify it
to
with you.
I like to think it's part of, or in my mind, I'm it's part of the job. I just want to know what I'm getting into.
Well,
I mean, I justify it because we get the game for free, and it's I didn't spend
that
any
as
money in
well,
this game.
yeah.
But
that's another thing is
Or-
the money I spend on games is far different than the average
Skewed,
person
yeah.
who spends money on games, which is why I have no concept of how much people the fraction of their total profits for whatever Ultimate Team. Also, I don't care about sports whatsoever. That is just I'm still reeling about that. That is so much money.
I mean,
And that's not even considering what they had Battlefield 1 last year as well.
I know, like the fraction
And that
of their
must have been a lot.
total profits from all of those games.
This was just Ultimate Team, one mode across 3 games.
That's oh my god.
yeah.
I'd be curious what the total was up against Activision, but Activision, what, 3.6?
$1 billion.
That's more revenue than EA had.
That's more
in
than
general.
I make.
Yeah, it's,
Holy shit! That's a ton.
Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, sure.
I mean,
That's a huge one.
Yeah.
$100.
Right. But that's
Shark cards.
But that's
been over 5 years.
but those aren't randomized. You know what you're getting, right? Or do you?
You're-
I'm actually
you are,
asking. I
You
don't
are
know.
legit putting money into a different currency.
To buy like new vehicles.
New vehicles,
weapons.
literally everything.
But you have the choice over what you're actually putting the money toward, right? On GTA Online, like
Yeah,
it's not
you're buying.
randomized.
It's not
That's
random.
fair. I guess
Yeah.
when we're not. I'm,
I'm there with you. I'm sure that makes a ton of money.
It's. I mean, it's. You heard about their earnings and why. Like, it's like, someone looked at like a release window for Rockstar games, right?
right for as
It's been a
much-
while since they've made a game.
For as much like crazy money as GTA 5 made, they don't need to make another
Or-
Grand Theft Auto for how long?
or
Red Dead
single
Redemption-
player.
because of GTA Online.
Yeah.
I'm sure Red Dead Redemption 2 will have that gangs and robbers thing. What?
what's happening?
Get these spurs, cowboy.
I do want to say
Here's
that,
a random horse.
Open up that
Here's
crate.
a random horse crate.
Oh, you got spurs, fella!
Be careful. There's quicksand.
Wow, those are spiking.
You just chickens in his
Okay.
spurs.
I do want to say that is a less egregious model than the buying a random drop
Yes.
thing. And
Yeah.
and in Destiny, in the Eververse case for Destiny, like you can still get a bright engram through playing.
Oh, yeah, sure,
So
totally.
like
Yeah.
I don't have as much of a problem with that.
just
It's like when
needed
it's so tied to the progression
You're right.
with
And-
Battlefront. Like I wanted to just circle
want-
back on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad you did. Keep
But
going.
I will say that I've spent money on mobile games where like it's the same thing where you're buying a separate currency, but you know what you're putting that money into, right? Like Fire Emblem Heroes, or like I was really into this like Sailor Moon Match 3 where I spent money, but like
The most egregious example was that I think it was the game that like set off like the uproar for the App Store for iOS was the kid who was playing like a totally heavy-handed like this is a children's game, and he was able to like just in the game was a button was like buy more coins.
Yeah.
And he bought like $2,000 worth of shit. And his
My-
mom was like, "What? How did you do that so easily?"
I showed my mom Candy Crush like
Yeah.
a while back, like when it first came out, and she got really into it because my mom really likes those kinds of games. And she spent like I think $10 on the game or something. And my dad was so mad. He was like, "This is so stupid. Why'd you do this?" And she was like, "You spend $60 on a new Call of Duty every year, so I can spend $10 on Candy Crush."
Snap.
And I was like,
Kathy.
Kathy, I was like, okay, that makes sense. But I mean, like, just going back to the difference between like spending money on a currency where you can then buy the thing that you are looking for specifically,
Yeah.
versus, and also that was a game that was free to play, so it's a little different.
Microtransactions are like going to Taco Bell with $10, giving it to them and saying, I hope I get a crunch wrap, and then they just give
Exactly.
you a gordita crunch or something.
Exactly.
Which
Yeah,
is bullshit.
That's the bullshit part.
And then-
that's a great metaphor.
And then on the
you,
comparison,
Taco
hey, but Mike, you can have it for free if you don't mind going over that cow over there and begin the process of making your own cheese. You're gonna have to do all of this yourself. There's a farm in the back. It's gonna take about 4 months to grow. The beans for refrap, but it's free, dude.
So I'm fine with that. If I went to Taco Bell and they said, hey, you can have a crunch wrap, you can either make it yourself or you can pay $3. I'm like, that's fair. But if I give them $5 and they're like, we don't know what we're gonna give you, they just give me 6 bags of cinnamon twists.
Just mild
Where
sauce.
the shit
You just
is
get a
my
bunch of mild
chalupa?
sauce.
Yeah, like I wanted savory.
Yeah, packets of.
So I wanted to maybe
Got a napkin.
we could end it on this part of this talk is Jesus. I'm taking so long to say it. You brought up like you brought up like the balancing, right, of like okay,
Yeah.
now going back to these crafting parts, right? Someone did. I was going through a bunch of like threads of people like tackling and complaining about this. It's a really disgusting system right now for this Battlefront beta. Someone did the math. I was like, okay, if every loot crate you got like 15 crafting parts by chance, which that doesn't even happen, like. But if it were the case,
If it were guaranteed.
and you wanted to buy and upgrade every gun in Battlefront, which is 2 weapons, just 2,
Just in
in the beta
Yeah.
for each class, like how long do you think that would take? Someone do the math.
300 hours.
It's like 3,000 hours.
3,000 hours to not spend money on that game.
That's just. I'm
Just for the
pretty
beta
sure that's the
content.
number. That's just from the beta. So it's over 1,000. I know that much. I swear to God, it's ridiculous. So the point is that
And
like
it's not even guaranteed
there's
to get
no
crafting
there's no way that as of the beta, like that balancing is going to be in play. I cannot fathom that number, that rate at which you get crafting parts to be the case. But it's interesting, and you brought it up, Peter, which is like it's just a weird feeling of just like the they are
the puppet masters.
yes, but like they went to like the gross spectrum of beta, and like I wonder if it was like intentionally
Sorry, I love
intentionally
that
just like
phrase.
stirred all this like frustration and like heat.
Yeah.
Just so
And the gross.
the changes that are made are like so significant.
Oh, good job, EA.
You know what I'm getting at? Like
No,
it's
yeah,
just like
totally.
like they wanted to see the reaction. And what if there wasn't? What if there wasn't any reaction?
Sure.
And they're like, "Oh, damn."
Dude, we don't know. They may keep it the way it is.
They might do that.
They might do that.
The gross
don't know.
spectrum of beta.
It
Love
was just kind of a frustrating thing because I think that's the thing is we haven't even talked about the positive qualities of this game. Like,
No, you did for like.
I did a
5
little bit.
seconds.
Like,
But that's exactly the thing.
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. The problem is it's
we did-
overshadowing everything.
And like Mike brought that up, like I feel so bad for the people because like you can criticize a developer or a publisher, but like the individual people who put in work, I always feel for those people, and it just sucks.
yeah.
like it's pretty fun to play, but like these things are just so looming.
Battlefront 2 seems fun at its most basic level. Well, maybe not most basic level, but apart from the microtransactions, again, according to our review and a bunch of people around the office and the internet in general, Shadow of War is a very fun game. It's ambitious as hell, and I do feel bad that I'm sure Monolith can't talk because if I'm sure they're contractually obligated. They can't say anything about Warner Bros. Again, this is all just assumptions, assuming Warner Bros. Pushed down this dictum on them. Contractually, also, they can't really bite the hand that feeds as the publisher, so it sucks. But, you know, they were adamant about saying they went through the game to make sure it's perfectly balanced without loot crates. And then that always begs the question, like,
Then
so
why
doesn't
have
adding loot crates imbalance it? Or, I don't know, like...
It just
Yeah.
perturbs something that was serene, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's like throwing a rock in a pond that was calm. He's
Yeah.
like, ripple it up.
So Dave on Twitter, his Twitter name is Dave, but his handle is The Upshot Canada. He says, ESRB says, loot boxes aren't gambling. What say you? I would say, like, I think as maybe to an outside business sense, in the traditional sense, it's not gambling, but then like to people who spend a lot of money and
In the
know
human
the
level,
hobby.
it's gambling.
It's
yeah, it's
gambling.
mentally, monetarily for people
Yeah.
who are playing games regularly, or even if just
Physiological
playing,
response
just
to-
playing. You play Destiny 2 all year, it's still going to be gambling if you're doing the Eververse stuff. Like,
I mean, I would be interested to see the physiological response, like a comparison between getting a loot crate or, you know, getting like a drop that you worked for in Destiny and like just gambling in a
Right.
casino. I would love to see, I'm sure they've done studies on this. I know they had in the past with like the reactions people get from really addictive games. I remember I had a friend who told me something about like The Sims when I was like, oh, The Sims makes you feel like you're on cocaine. I was like, I don't believe that.
There's a reason I tell people, like, please don't use the word addicting to describe anything about a video game in
No,
your review because
it's-
it sends this weird message.
Well, first of all, addicting is a stupid word, and you should say addictive. It's my pet peeve.
Either way.
But also, it's
oh, it's
yeah,
pet piv.
it's also not. Yeah, it's not a good descriptor. I mean, I would be really interested to see the similarities, but I mean, just from my gut instinct, it's gambling.
There's this. I don't know if I ever like explained also like how these star cards work and feel. Like again, these are damage boosters, increased health. Like
Way to win.
when I was playing on the stream, I'd been using the A wing a lot earlier, and I was like, I don't know if I like it. I think I like the other one better, fighter. And then on stream, I was like, damn, A wings. I'm rocking right now.
It's fast, nimble.
But like firepower, I'm taking down guys
Oh.
quick, and that's because. And after stream, I looked at the star cards. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I forgot I put on 2 star cards that were like epic. One was longer cooldown.
Shorter
no,
cooldown.
not shorter cooldown. Overheating.
Oh yeah.
Increased time
Essentially
before
a longer
overheating.
magazine before you have to reload. Or
Yes,
whatever,
and
yeah.
like a double fire rate, and yeah, and I took them off and like noticed that like this is harder to like take down guys, and there's another factor too where it's like I also have to level up these ranks in order to like unlock the ability to put a star card on. That I still haven't gotten my third one, and I put 15 hours into the game already. I haven't gotten my third ability to put a star card on an A-wing.
Yeah, and I like you said at the beginning, I like that you were trying to be optimistic, but I don't think this is going to change before November. This kind of system, it sucks because this game,
not to the extremes that we would want it to be, right?
Yeah.
Or like it's integral now to like their whole system, like with the getting cards, and that's where all these abilities are. Dude, it's just gonna be this thing, right? This is gonna be another setting off point where it's like, if I die and I see like a TIE fighter fly by, a kill cam, and it says, "Oh, what did he have? 3 legendary cards," and I had just started the game.
That TIE fighter just had a lightsaber. What the fuck was that?
His wings were made out of lightsabers. Anyways, I think I'm rambling.
Yeah.
Now.
I'm excited about the story of this.
Yeah.
To end on a.
I do want to end on a positive note after one more thing. Lloyd Christmas, constant friend of the show on Twitter, said, to the panel, what is your limit with loot boxes? I would say Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2.
Yeah. I guess. I don't like them in general. Sometimes you put up with them as a necessary evil.
Yeah.
My limit is when it feels like it's taking control of the game out of your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
when
like
it's
it when
predatory,
it's
like you said earlier.
when it's cosmetic. That can be fun, like
Right.
unlocking a skin in Overwatch.
Yeah.
Because then you have like a side thing to work for. I think that can be fun.
Yeah, cosmetic for sure.
Yeah.
That's it.
We are kind of going long, but I do want to end on a positive note. I mentioned Shadow of War. I've been playing a lot more of it. I really like the game. It is annoying to see this kind of stuff when you go into the market. And I've been going into the market briefly to spend, what's the currency? Ithilden, I think, on like crates for weapons and whatnot. I have not gotten to the point where I could be. Actually, no, I did pay for a crate that gave me orcs for to be followers, or they are slaves when
So
you really
weird.
want to talk about it
So
in that
weird.
game.
Buy a box and some living things come out of it.
Yeah, and like it's
Yes, sir. What you want?
you essentially don't have to touch those throughout the game. The game is fantastic. The Nemesis system is great. I love running into people. It's so much more. This game is so much quirkier and almost like whimsical because I run into these certain. It's such got a self-aware humor. I ran into I think his name was Gruck the poet. And I wish I remembered the rhyme, but he essentially when they introduced him, he's like Ranger, and then he said a poet.
Gruck, and I like to.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like, you killed me last time, but
Really fast.
I forgot. But you were on today. You can give that a double woo.
No, I will not.
And it's great. And I also ran into one guy I showed you, and sometimes there are monologues. If you're watching this right now, you can see they do these monologues, kind of threats, just pumping themselves up for the fight. There's one dude.
Not that's sexual or
Okay,
not.
sorry to cut off. Not to plug our own stuff, but this is actually a pretty cool video. We did within the first 20 hours, all of the best intros we had. I would recommend watching this because I was laughing through it. Yeah, keep going. Sorry, Mike.
No, every once in a while they'll just be like growling, and then it'll be done, and you'll fight, and it's great. But then the next one will be this long monologue, tell that mean ocean. He'll just be screaming. He'll be like, I can feel the maggots coursing through me.
Oh, there he is. Jack the maggot. It goes on forever.
Yeah, he talks for a long time.
And then to couple that with if there's one in this video, it was it's like, what are we just gonna fight?
Yeah.
It's like 3. It just goes from one orc to another. It didn't do that last time. Oh no, it did do that, I guess. But one guy will have this long ass speech, and then another orc will come up and betray him, and just cut his head off.
And
talks all this shit, and then just dies.
It's like Indiana
so
Jones,
funny.
the dude twirling the sword, and he just shoots it. But it's the writing in these moments is so great because Monolith. It's almost like a Family Guy joke. You think he's done talking, he goes on for another 10 full seconds,
it's great.
and by the time I'm laughing, I feel bad for killing him because he's such an idiot. But they also have tribes. There's different tribes. There's feral. There's dark. It just kind of influences how they attack you, what special attacks they have. Feral will have it also kind of subtly affects their aesthetic, their armor. Like Feral will wear animal bones. Like right here, he's the Dark Tribe, but.
Oh, this guy's just drunk.
Yeah, and they all have their own weaknesses, and certain things will enrage them, and it's awesome when you fight two. So one will be enraged when you put him to really low health, and then he'll go into like berserk, and then another person will be terrified of other orcs that are berserking, so they all start interlocking in great ways. But then there's also people that are cheating death because they're like tricksters. That's their class.
Oh, dude, this guy, the orc captain doesn't do any of the like talking. He's got like a hype man.
Yeah,
it's incredible. And he's
this game, I really, really like this game.
Yeah,
Again,
it's fun.
I my opinion aligns very closely with Justin Haywald, who did our review. And again, he said they were just like the microtransactions were attacked on.
That wasn't his
like
primary
oversight.
complaint.
Right.
I don't want that to be the focus
just to be the
his
segue
issues.
of from last segment. But he also said the Nemesis system is great in this game. It's the game does feel a little bit bloated in the way it tries to be Destiny with its crate or sorry, not with its crates. It's still stuck in my head with its gear
leveling,
and with
yeah.
the way you can break down things, but
And the final act apparently is
so
real
it's
slog.
yeah, you get to a certain point and they kind of require you to grind for fortress defense. The sieges are great.
Or you could just read the ending in the appendix apparently
Yeah.
well before doing any
Yeah.
of that shit.
And you kind of know where this is all going to lead. This is between Shadow of Well, this is before the Lord of the Rings starts.
Head's on fire.
Yeah. These characters they are very self-aware in how dumb they are, and it's great.
The hype man's my favorite.
I have to
Yeah.
see more of that hype man. I
wanna
haven't
find that
gone him
poet again.
personally.
The poet wears a beret, and he's my current. No, I'm not kidding.
Oh, here it is, right here. Betrayed.
He's my current nemesis. So when you just press the touchpad, it'll show your current nemesis, and he's always there with his beret on. And he looks like this, like he lives in the West Village, and he's also always just writing shitty poetry, and he does. This is the dude right here. This is Flog, the one that with the long monologue. I gave this a joke. This is him. So if you're watching
that's
this,
it. Just one word.
pay
Flog.
attention to how long he talks.
That video of Eminem
He's
doing
still
a whole
talking. He's
rap.
been talking 5 seconds. He's still going. This is right when he says like, "I can feel the maggots crawling inside me." He's still going.
Down my pants.
At this point, I'm already dying laughing. He's still going. Arm gestures. There's guys. Look at the guys behind him.
Everyone else is waiting.
The guy's like, "What the fuck? When are we gonna fight?"
He's still going.
This is 100%.
I
like
was
that Eminem
losing
video.
my mind laughing, and then right there. Finally, you start the fight. That was 15 seconds. And,
Kill him immediately.
And it's not. Oh, this is when he killed me. It's
on the
pretty brutal, too.
contrary. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
he smoked me. Is this him? No, he's a bard. He sings.
I haven't seen that.
You guys, you should play Shadow of War. If Shadow of Mordor piqued your interest with its Nemesis system, which it should have, it was a great design innovation. It's actually pretty simple when you look at how they did it, but great use of it. You find your own story in this game. I know Lucy James was talking about some enemies she had that just sounded hilarious. Play that game. Monolith did a fantastic job with it, and again, you can read our review. Justin was really positive on the game. It's unfortunate that it got roped into the microtransaction conversation with Forza 7, Battlefront 2, but that game is fantastic. Monolith did a great job. Michael DePlater and his team. We actually did a video on how tough it can be to bring Lord of the Rings, licensed games in general, but also Lord of the Rings specifically to video games. It has a long and spotty history. Jean-Luc did his history of Lord of the Rings games. If you want to get more into that, The Third Age is better than anyone will ever tell you. Don't let them tell you it's a bad game. What were you going to say?
Oh, I feel like we're going on way too long, but it's just funny to think that orc system could have gone completely like wrong.
Yeah.
It could have been so annoying. Like, I just
Ham-fisted.
want to fight. Yet, like, they like have.
No,
they
dude.
came to a point where they're like, we just gotta own it.
So
like,
Flog, he cheated death, so he's alive still after I killed him, and I'm just waiting to see him and be like, no, and then he's gonna start his monologue. I'll just go grab a beer, come back,
he sets up the
finish the
stage.
beer, and then finally fight him. Like, okay, do your thing, it's
He's got,
fine.
like an apple box that he stands on.
He's got a microphone that he just drops before he fights. Shadow of War, fantastic game. Please go check it out if you have the time, money, or if you're interested in anything like Lord of the Rings. It's not the most faithful Lord of the Rings adaptation, but it's a fun game. Any last minute things? What do you got on the docket this week, Peter?
Gran Turismo, homie.
Oh, that's right. Gran Turismo Sport. You going to try any Evil Within 2? We're going to talk a little bit about Evil Within 2. In general, I will say we can talk about the first 7 chapters. Jean-Luc's been playing a ton. First 6 chapters. Alessandro is reviewing it for us. They both have very positive things to say, especially compared to the first game. I would say I love 2/3 of the first game. Hated the last third. I love chapters 1 to 10. The last 5 go off the rails in a bad way. On the rails, actually, at one point. Rail shooter.
That's the horror recipe, though. Is like sometimes you love the first 2 acts and then the last act falls apart. That's the pain of a horror fan.
Yep.
We shall see.
Very positive thoughts so far. The reviews will be up soonish. I don't think there's an embargo. Bethesda was or for the full game, there might be something, but Bethesda actually sent out copies earlier than a day before. We are going to be playing South Park in the coming weeks. I think that's what's on your schedule tonight, right, Rob?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for
South
that.
Park,
The
the
last one
fractured
was
butthole.
I really, really liked the last one.
Yeah. It's
I remember playing till 1 a.m. for capture's sake because I had to keep playing and just somehow the game managed me to pause and just laugh for so long. South Park, Trey Parker and those guys Matt Stone are so great.
Justin was mentioning during our meeting today, you explore someone's butt in the first game, so I can't imagine where they're going to go with this one.
Their whole intestines.
Yeah, you just go up the body.
You travel up.
Gross.
Love it.
Callie, what are you up to?
Lemmy winks.
Yeah, I mean, there is that whole episode where it's just Oprah's vagina talking. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, no, that was an episode of Oprah.
Minji. What am I up to? I'm prepping for the coming weeks, the calm before the storm. So
Yeah.
I go home and I play Stardew Valley until I can't stay awake anymore. That's pretty much what I'm up to.
Same with me. I'll probably play Evil Within 2 tonight. Peter sent me a code that Bethesda was nice enough to give us. Be trying that out. What else am I playing? Shadow of War. Stardew Valley a lot. I'm saying all this to sound like I'm doing my job well. I'm just going to play Stardew Valley. Cool. As always, thank you everybody for joining the Twitch and YouTube chats and on GameSpot. Thank you for sending questions in before the show. Lloyd Christmas and Dave, the Upshot Canada, I appreciate your questions. Led to some good discussion. We do have that giveaway. It's been going all week so far, and there's 5 winners a day. You get to choose whether you want the Evil Within 2 on PS4, Xbox One, or PC. So Shiva should be in the Twitch chat. She might have already put it in there, but it's also up on GameSpot. Just go to the link that we'll be tweeting out from GameSpot's account. It's not one of those retweet things. You should go to the page. And then on Friday, we'll be picking that will be the grand prize day. So 2 people will get this PS4 Pro with Evil Within Skin 2 with Sebastian Castellanos on the front, or that Xbox One S. That's the grand prize, but you also have the chance to win the game itself, which releases this Friday, October 13th. So good luck with that. You can follow us on Twitter to get that link to GameSpot, and again, that'll end Friday when we hand out the grand prize. But it's going all week, so get in on that. From everything that we've heard, that game is doing well. It's good. The internet itself seems to be in agreement with Jean-Luc and Alessandro. And Nick, I think, played a little bit.
What? I have nothing to say. Don't worry.
Okay. Cool. There's Shiva in the Twitch chat right now. But anyway, thanks, everybody, for joining. Thanks to Jean-Luc Saipi, Richard Lee, and Eric Tay in the back. Thank you, Callie, Rob, Peter. We'll be back next week, 11 a.m. Pacific, Wednesday, here in California, on the lobby. We'll see you then.